Hey there, Rhino Heb here. Welcome to this video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about human design types in business. And we're going to go through each of the types: the manifesting generator, the pure generator, the projector, manifestor, and reflector. And we're going to be looking at how you can utilize information about your type in the human design system to help you receive more abundance in a way that is much more easeful and connected to your purpose, whether you're a business owner or working on a small team or working on a big team. So I'm really excited to explore this with you. Before we fully dive in, I just want to remind you that we are doing a human design reading giveaway right now, and we're going to be giving that human design reading away at the 100 subscriber mark. So all you need to do to enter into the giveaway and potentially win is subscribe and leave a comment below on this video. Now, this is a 2-hour reading, one-on-one with me, valued at $397. And I would be super excited to get to meet you and dive in with this reading. So I'll talk more about that at the end. For now, let's dive in. So again, your human design type is just one aspect of your chart. And it's a pretty high level aspect of your chart. Your gates and channels and centers and all of that has a lot of information that can help you in creating the most perfect role and starting to prioritize your time in more aligned ways aligned to your unique human design chart. But we're going to start with type because you can still apply a lot of amazing information just at the level of type. And let's start with the manifesting generator. So if you're a manifesting generator, that means two things. You have your sacral center defined, and you have a motor center connected to your throat center. Now, that could be the sacral. It could be a direct connection from the sacral center to the throat through channel 3420. Or it could be a connection of the sacral to the throat through your G center, through the diamond in the middle of your chest. Or it could be that you have the sacral defined and your solar plexus or your ego or your root center is connected to the throat. The root center could be connected, the spleen, to your throat. So you have pure, consistent life force energy that operates in your system in a way you can count on and get used to and rely on. And then you also have this motor energy connected to your throat, which is the center of expression and manifestation. So you're able to manifest things really, really quickly. So the kind of role that's really good for a manifesting generator is someone that's here to get work done, to build, to be the builder, to grow things, but that doesn't have to be constrained by steps too much. It's really important that if you're a manifesting generator and you're a business owner or you're on a team, that you either create your role or start to position yourself in a way where you can use this consistent energy to move things forward while not having to follow too many steps, that you can let your creative energy kind of go in a non-linear path. And the difference between manifesting generators and pure generators that I always talk about is best described by the manifesting generators like a dog off leash. That dog is going from point A to point B, but running back and forth, like all over the place to get to point B. While the pure generators are on the leash. They're step by step from point A to point B. So they don't miss as much, but they also take a little bit longer to get there. So the manifesting generators, you can generate and get somewhere very quickly. You're just going to drop some balls. So on a team, it's really good if you're surrounded by people that can pick up those balls for you and let you know about them. Because often when manifesting generators get to the end, they're like, oh crap, I have to go back and do that or go back and do that. So surrounding yourself, putting yourself in the position on the team where you're not responsible for those details, so your creative energy, life force energy, can move into manifestation really quickly, while others are like bringing to your attention what isn't quite working or what you're missing, and letting them either take on those things or being open to that feedback. Now, again, this applies whether you're a business owner that is perhaps building a team, or even if you're a solopreneur. Just knowing and being gentle with yourself that you're going to create things really fast, but have to go back and pick things up. And then as you build your team, put those other people in those places. Now, who are those other people? Well, they could be pure generators. So let's talk about pure generators, because pure generators do see the linear path, the path of I need to take this step and then do this and then do this and do this. So pure generators and manifesting generators can make a really great team in that, because they have consistently sacral center defined, which you'll see over here. And it's the red center, the red square from the bottom, and that consistent life force energy that every generator, manifesting or pure, wakes up with every day, with a new full supply and to be used in the correct way. So if you haven't watched my video on the sacral response yet, I highly recommend you check that out if you're a pure or manifesting generator, to understand how to listen to your sacral, to know where you should be putting your energy. That's really, really important in business. It's really important that you are making decisions not with your mind, but that you're making decisions with your sacral and letting the life force guide you of where to put that energy. Because if you don't, you're going to end up saying yes to too many things, involved in too many projects, and you're going to end up really, really exhausted and not adding value to the team. You're going to struggle to bring in the resources you need financially, and it doesn't have to be that way. It's about learning how to trust the wisdom of your sacral response. So the difference between the pure generators is they don't have a connection from one of their motors to their expression and manifestation centers. So that sacral energy is not immediately and consistently and in the same way always outputting into manifestation. It's consistently there, but just not consistently expressed in always the same way. So there's this, and maybe not as fast. So the generator sees the steps more easily, the pure generator, step by step by step. So really, really good team again. Now let's talk about the projectors. So the projectors are about 18% of the population. The manifesting generators and generators make up about 70%. It's kind of an even split, around 35-35, but that's shifting every time more people are getting born, but that's about right. And the projectors are like 18 to 19% of the population. And the projectors do not have their sacral center defined, and they do not have one of the motor centers connected to their throat. So they don't have a consistent energy from the sacral center, and they don't have any consistent motor energy for manifestation. So they're not here to work as consistently, and like they're not going to have that energy supply the generators have. So if you are a projector, please know you are not meant to do as much as the generators, and that is okay. And if you're at a company that's demanding that of you, then and doesn't see your genius and the role that you're ideally going to be in, it might be time to start looking at a change. But first, do you see the role that you're here to be in? And the role you're here to be in is more as a guide. Projectors make really good managers, and they make really good managers of generators. And that doesn't mean you have to actually have the role of project manager, but are you on a team where people recognize you for your wisdom, that they recognize you for where you see there's holes in the process, for where you see someone isn't using their energy effectively? And are they open to receiving that wisdom from you? That's really, really important. Now, it is important for the projectors to wait to be invited. Us generators, I'm a manifesting generator, I think I mentioned that, we are very stubborn and we are very protective over our life force. So projectors usually see things before anyone else, and they see where the issues, where the breakdowns are. And one of the hardest things for the projectors is to be patient and wait until everyone's ready to actually hear it, especially in business if you're on a team, or if you're working in a company as part of a team, or if you have a small team and you're a business owner, or you have a large team. It's really important for you to wait for the invitation in order to deliver the feedback, to say what you've been seeing for a long time. Because when you do that, they are going to recognize you, they're going to get it, and they're going to listen, and then you're going to build that reputation for that. If you are owning a business, if you're a business owner, then waiting for the invitation doesn't mean you don't create a product until someone explicitly invites you to. It means you're kind of paying attention to what the market is inviting you to do. You are putting feelers out there. You are exploring through social media posts and writing about what you're thinking about, and seeing what people are like, yes, 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 and seeing what people reach out to you and invite you into conversations. You can let people know that they can book a call with you, or that you have this thing that you're offering, but waiting to be invited to formally bring someone into that. And again, if you're looking and paying attention and feeling into what the market is inviting you into, what you're being recognized for, then what you create is going to be received really well. So some projectors think waiting for the invitation means like, when do I take action? I'm just supposed to sit back on the couch and wait. Well, you let people know what you're up to, because your aura is one that is focused and absorbing. So when you're living your design, when you're not trying to be a generator, when you're not trying to do all the things, because the generator aura is like a beacon, when you're not trying to do all the things, your aura is naturally going to focus and absorb, and people are going to feel that you're absorbing the world, that you're absorbing them, that you're focused and you are seeing the things. They're going to feel that without even knowing it logically, and they're going to invite you. It's when you're too busy trying to be a generator, trying to make things happen, force things to happen, that they aren't going to invite you because you're not available energetically for the invitation. So In teams, again, it is really good for you to be kind of a guide or a mentor or a manager, but you don't have to explicitly have that role. But if you are in a role where you're doing things, where your job requires you to use your energy, to make sure you're not overusing it to try to be a generator. And if you're in a team that demands that, to see if there's an opportunity to switch your role or to switch the team, to switch companies, switch organisms. If you are a business owner, then you have that power. And it's just about trusting that if you stop using your energy when it isn't there, and many projectors have coffee habits that aren't exactly the healthiest, that you trust when you really let yourself just rest when you need to rest, that it's all going to work. And that's going to take a little bit for the mind to get behind. But if you do it, if you really trust and you practice living your design, then you will gain that evidence for your mind. Okay, one quick step back to the generators, because I realized I didn't really talk about if you're a business owner as a generator. So the generator's strategy is to wait to respond. So when I talked about the sacral response video, while the projectors are waiting for the invitation, the generators are waiting to respond with your life force. And you kind of have to feel that, be in the scenario, be with the person, be with the potential clients, and feel, does that feel right to me? Be with the potential collaborators to make decisions. Because as a generator, generators usually have a lot of opportunities because a lot of people want to use your energy. That doesn't mean everyone is the correct opportunity for you, or everything, or every collaboration, or every business opportunity, or every project. So really trusting your sacral energy, if it's squeezing in and saying no, to listen to that. And even if your mind is like, oh my God, but this could be the biggest thing, or blah, 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 blah. It's like to just trust. That's a big thing with the human design system, is to learn to trust. And this is the biggest thing that changed my business. And it has seen my revenue go up by 10 to 20% every year, because I trust in my body to guide me versus what my mind thinks I should do based on advice I've heard from so many people different over the years, which makes it crazy in there. So it's about really bringing the trust down into the body, which brings us to the manifestors. So the manifestors also do not have the sacral center defined, yet they do have a motor center, one of the 4 motor centers connected to the throat, the center of expression and manifestation. So while they don't have that consistent sacral energy of the generator, they do have a form of motor energy connected to the expression and manifestation center. So this could either be the emotional energy of the solar plexus, it could be the ego willpower energy of the ego center, it could be the drive and motivation of the root center going through the spleen all the way to the throat. The 4th is the sacral. And as a manifestor, you wouldn't have the sacral. So, and you could have multiple, you can have all 3, you could have 2 of them connected to the throat. So if you're a manifestor, you're about 8% of the population. And the most important thing for you to know is that you are here to bring in bigger ideas, bigger downloads. And it's really important for you, if you're working for another company, it's most likely not the best place for you to be on the front lines as the worker, the person getting the things done. Because usually there's a lot of visions, a lot of creativity, a lot of ability to bring in these big visions. The most important thing for you is to inform. You're the only one of the 4 types that's here to initiate. So it's really important for you to initiate action. And you can really do that much better when you're in a leadership role, and to have a position in the organization where people respect your wisdom for guiding the ship in a particular way, or respect for your ability to trust where your body, what you're paying attention to isn't the sacral response. You're not waiting for the invitation. There's this spark, usually described as being in the chest, like almost pulling you into action. To really trust that and initiate it, but you need to inform people before you do. One of the biggest challenges for manifestors in business, as a business owner or working for a company, is that they get that spark and they just start acting without informing anyone, without informing their manager, without informing their team, without informing the world. It's to really let people know what you're doing and why, because manifestors don't always realize the impact they're having, especially on generators. The generators already have a huge amount of things they're up to and moving and requests for their energy. And the manifestors, since you're moving big visions in, it's really about informing people what you're doing, not to get their permission, but to remove resistance from your path. So again, this is really important as a manager, as a business owner, or as a member of a team, small or big. Manifestors on teams often aren't in teams that recognize them for this, or where they can be free to initiate and inform and start moving things in a certain way. So that's conversations or things to be had if you're working for someone else. If you're leading the team, also to know that you are here to start and get things moving, and then as possible, as soon as possible, bringing on team or collaborators or contractors in order to like inform them what you're doing and get them enrolled so they can keep building it. So when it gets to a certain place and your spark is no longer there for it, you can step away and wait for the spark for the next project. Okay, so that brings us to reflectors. And reflectors, you are about 1 to 2% of the population. And if you're a reflector, you don't have any of your centers defined in your chart, which means you are reflecting the world. You are really open to many, many, many different ways of being. There's not one particular way that is consistent within you on a day-to-day basis that you can count on. And this isn't a bad thing. The world convinces us that we need to have our unique way, which makes open centers sometimes challenging. But the benefit of being a reflector is that you get to sample and play with lots of different ways of being, lots of different ways of expressing, of thinking, of following your direction, of making money, of trusting your energy, of trusting your instincts, of listening to your emotions, of drive and motivation. You get to sample as you move through the world around other people's auras. You get to try on different things. As the planets move through the sky, the planets will actually activate different parts of your chart. You get to like play with a lot of different ways of being. So the biggest thing for you is to not compare yourself to anyone and to not think you need to have one way of doing things. In fact, your decision-making process actually happens over the time of 28 days, which is the amount of time it takes for the moon to get back to its same position. So in that, as the moon's traveling through the sky, it's consistently activating different parts of your chart in the same pattern every 28 days. So you actually have a broader perspective than anyone else, the other types. So you're really here to be standing back and really observing how everything is going and building and seeing the patterns that are happening at a larger scale and really reflecting that. So strategy and visioning is really, really good places for reflectors. Depending on the reflector, you can play many roles in a company, but having that essence of the freedom to really, and the recognition of the longer term vision that you may be able to see that others can't is important. So I hope that really, really helped you. And whatever type you are, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I answer all questions. Any questions you have, you can tell me specifics about your chart and I'll look at it. And if you haven't yet downloaded your free 19-page personalized guide from my website, please do that now. You can reach it at orionlab.com/HD guide. And this is, all you have to do is enter your birth information like anywhere else you get your human design chart. But I built this so that you could have a personalized guide to really bring it into your life. So in it, we talk not only about your type, but your strategy, your authority, and your profile. So you really get to understand how you can utilize those 4 components of your chart to really tailor how you're approaching business, how you're approaching your role in your company, etc., etc. But the giveaway information here at the end, if you want to enter to win a free one-on-one 2-hour human design reading with me, usually valued at $397, it would be a great way for you to really understand the intricacies of your chart, the gates, the channels, the defined centers, the undefined centers, the profile, the type, strategy, and authority, and how they all work together specifically for you. And we'll also look at what kind of blocks or beliefs or emotions or ways of being that you learned to be are preventing you from living your design. And we'll explore that. We have 2 hours together. All you have to do is subscribe to this video, leave a comment below. If you like videos on human design and self-love and empowerment and self-responsibility, we do 1 video every week. So it'll be a benefit for you too to subscribe. And the more comments you leave between now and 100 subscribers, the more chances you have to win. We're going to be giving this reading away at 100 subscribers. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a beautiful day and hopefully we'll get to meet soon.